Hello, my name is Keith Haswell and it's my pleasure to welcome you to this video number 6. Now, the previous videos I've introduced myself fully and I won't go through all that again. I want to cram as much as I can into this video for you to help you to become more of who you really are. Now, the things that I'm going to share with you here are about the landscape of the mind. And these are things that you are going to have to learn about the nature of reality and our place in that reality, whether or not it's now, whether or not it's later on in life, or whether or not it's in the your next incarnation. But the things that I'm going to be teaching you and sharing with you in these number of videos that I'm doing, over the next 12 months or so, I'll be doing a lot more videos. These things are going to be taught in the schools, in the primary schools, in 50 to 100 years' time, because truth can't be held back. And we're evolving as a species, a human species. We are evolving. Now, science posits the idea that forms evolve. The theory of evolution of Charles Darwin talked about changes within the form, tiny little minuscule changes that were passed on in the genes and so forth to the next generation, and gradually over a period of time the species that are developed now have been developed. And they posit the idea that consciousness is the result of form. So awareness and consciousness are the result of form. But in fact, the thing that's evolving is consciousness, and form is the result of consciousness, not the other way around. And so we are in life, and we have eternal life, to expand our consciousness. Consciousness expansion is the most important thing in the universe, and every single being of consciousness is evolving its consciousness and expanding its consciousness, and it's very, very exciting. Now, the consciousness of the mineral kingdom is very, very limited and certainly not self-conscious. But they have the ability to be able to move around in that molecular level of things. Then you've got the plant kingdom, which is more aware, more conscious, but certainly not self-conscious. And they don't have feelings and they don't have thoughts, but they're able to. It's amazing how a plant can bend its stems to face towards the sun and to face towards the light if it's an indoor plant. And so it is a consciousness, but it's not self-conscious, and they don't have feelings. The animal kingdom has a state of consciousness which is higher than the plant kingdom, but it's not self-conscious like the human kingdom. And they certainly have instinct, which is rudimentary mind, and they have basic feelings within themselves, sex urges and so on and so forth, and the urge to procreate and the urge to survive and so on and so forth is there within themselves. But the first level of self-consciousness in the universe is the human level, and this is what we're dealing with here, is the landscape of the mind. Now, it's important to understand that we are all living in a sea of energy, a sea of life, a sea of consciousness. And these energies that we're living in are made up of the physical, which is dense, liquid and gaseous, and this is the only level that science can measure with its instruments. And so naturally, anything that they can't measure that's more subtle than that, they can't put their finger on it, they can't tabulate it. And so therefore they say that it doesn't exist. But the etheric level, the ether, does exist, and it interpenetrates our dense physical body. As a matter of fact, the dense physical body is the result of the etheric counterpart. So the etheric counterpart, and I've gone through this in more detail in my earlier video, and the constitution of us and so forth, so I won't go into all of that again. But we have an etheric body, which is an energy body that gives us our vitality and our energy and our life expression through the physical body, which is an automaton. It carries out the will of our thoughts. And then we have our emotional body, which is an aura around us, and that emotional body is made up of 7 subplanes of emotional energy. The lowest subplane being hate and fear and greed and lust and so forth, and the highest subplane being love and selfless service and devotion and so forth. And then we've got the mental body, and the mental body is made up of 4 subplanes of the 7, because the 3 higher subplanes are abstract thinking, and that's all part of the soul, and I won't go into that area of things. The soul I'll cover later in a further video. But we are living in a sea of energy: mental, emotional, and etheric energy. And we have a mind, and every single time you have a thought, you create a thought form. You take a piece of undifferentiated mental energy and you differentiate it, and that's a consciousness unit. It's important to understand that these are little lives that are even prior to the mineral kingdom, and they don't have choice. All they can do is carry out the will of the thinker. So every single time that you think and have a thought, you are creating a thought form, and you have 50,000 thoughts a day. Now, if you have a repetitive thought over and over again, then that's going to become a very strong and powerful thought, because it's made up of a whole congregation of similar thoughts with a similar vibrational frequency or a similar energy form, a similar resonance. And so here we are as self-conscious beings, and we are creating these thought forms, and then we clothe these thought forms with desire, and then those thought forms are seeking expression in physical events in our life. They're on the involutionary arc of energy down into matter, and the lower that they go into expression, the closer they get to becoming an event in time and space, the more they're growing. And so therefore these thought forms don't have self-consciousness, they don't have a will of their own. All they're out to do is to replicate your will and to carry it out as an event in time and space in your life. So these thought forms have a resonance that makes them belong to a certain cluster of thoughts, and the horoscope details these 12 clusters. The first house is to do with personal self-initiated efforts. Now, what are you thinking about yourself? Are you thinking that I never deserve? And are you thinking about yourself as being a lowlife? Are you thinking about yourself as being full of shame and full of guilt and full of fear and full of anxiety? Because these thought forms are trying to catch your attention of your mind. And every single time that they catch the attention of your mind, they become stronger. And there's a better chance of them being able to express themselves as an event which is going to do some harm to you in your body. And then you've got thoughts of your survival and your security needs. And these are thoughts of the second house of the horoscope. So what sort of thoughts are you entertaining? Are you entertaining thoughts of plenty and abundance, and I can do it, I can provide security, I'm a good handler of money? Or are you entertaining thoughts all the time of life is a financial struggle for me, and I can't handle money well, and I can never have enough of what I need. Because these thoughts are out to replicate in your reality in time and space exactly what you are thinking about, exactly what you are creating. So which thought do you throw your mind upon? Which thought do you pump up with your energy of your mind? Do you pump up thoughts of, I never succeed and life is a financial struggle for me? Or do you focus upon the thought that I'm powerful in my earning capacity, I have the ability to budget and to handle money wisely, I am willing to have abundance in my life, I work hard for that end? And then we've got the thoughts of the third house and communication with people, relatives and neighbours and so forth. And these are the people that are close to us. And what sort of thoughts are we entertaining there? Are we entertaining thoughts of, they're not fair, they've got it out for me, and thoughts of aggression and anger, and all of these negative attacks and hostility towards those who are close to me? Or do you have thoughts of empathy and tolerance and patience and understanding and open-mindedness and fair play and honesty and integrity? And then we've got the fourth house of the horoscope, which is the home environment and the security of everybody in the home environment with you. What sort of thoughts are you entertaining there? Are you entertaining thoughts that my parents didn't do it right for me, I didn't have a fair upbringing, the home environment is always insecure, I never feel happy in the home? Or do you entertain ideas of love and tenderness and kindness and forgiveness and sympathy and tolerance and unity and patience and trust and idealism and hope? And then we've got the thoughts of the fifth house of the horoscope, the house of romance and love and sexual expression and relationships with children. Now, what sort of thoughts do you entertain there? Are you always thinking about your sex drive? Are you overindulgent in the areas of gambling and entertainment and amusement? Are you always out late? Are you really looking after yourself with not abusing yourself with alcohol and drugs and so on and so forth? Are you thinking about that relationship that you've been in for some time, and you meet somebody and you have a relationship on the side, an affair, and you think to yourself, I can get away with this, no one knows about it, it's secret, but you know about it yourself, and it's a low resonance, a low vibrational frequency, and it can't bring good into your life because it's dishonest and it's deceitful. Are you having thoughts of love and thinking about the other person being independent and being able to grow and reach and stretch in their own way without you having to dominate and manipulate and control them all the time? Are you honest, and do you have integrity in relationships and trust and devotion? And then we've got the thoughts of the sixth house of the horoscope. The sixth house is the house of health. And what sort of thoughts are you entertaining there? I can eat junk food and get away with it. I don't have to worry about exercise. I'm an unhealthy person. I hate my job. I'm not going to look after myself with exercise and control over myself. I can sleep in as long as I want to and put on as much weight as I want to. Or are you thinking thoughts of reliability in the job, and I love my job, and I look after my body, and I eat the right food, and I exercise well and look after myself? You see, we're all got these thoughts there all the time. And do you have thoughts, I'm an unhealthy person? Because you can't get away with all these thoughts. The power of your mind is going on to these thoughts, and it's stimulating those thoughts, and those thoughts only have the will to carry out your will. God and Goddess are not going to create your reality for you. They've put laws in place that allow you and give you the power to create your own reality. You are creating your reality through your habitual patterns of thinking and feeling. What sort of feelings do you have inside of yourself? What sort of attitudes and beliefs do you have inside of yourself? Because you have these raw materials of your attitudes and beliefs and your thoughts and feelings and the decisions and choices that you make, and you impel these raw materials into expression as events and conditions in your life, both in your body and in your external circumstances in life, through your desire, your imagination, and your expectancy. So look, it's a very, very complex subject, I know, but this is what we're all dealing with. This is what we're all dealing with. We're living in a sea of energy. We're living in a sea of life. We're living in a sea of thought forms, and these thought forms are gathering emotion around themselves from our emotional body, and they are seeking to express themselves as our will into expression as events in time and space. So where are you putting the power of your mind? Are you placing the power of your mind upon the negative all the time? Or are you placing it and choosing to place it upon the positive thoughts and feelings that are going to be uplifting and purifying and health-giving? God and Goddess are not going to step in. They've put laws into place that allow you to create your own reality. The only thing that they want for you is what you want for you. But we think that we can get away with our negative thinking. No one's looking. No one knows about the way that I'm thinking continually upon what food am I going to eat that's bad for me, and continually thinking about drugs, or continually thinking about gambling, or my indulgences here or my indulgences there, or my unscrupulous activities or my deceptive activities in relationships or whatever. Where are we focusing our attention? Because the attention of the mind is providing energy to your repetitive thought forms, and you can't get away with it. These thought forms are there vibrating and trying to attract your attention all the time. And so the more evolved that you become, the more conscious that you become, the more highly intelligent that you become, the more energy that you are bringing into your system. And therefore, the more potent is your mind. And so you've got to take responsibility for where you are focusing your mind. The landscape of the mind is the landscape of your life. And you are experiencing the events and conditions outside of yourself, and the condition of your bodily health in an expression of your repetitive thoughts and feelings, your attitudes and your beliefs, your thoughts and your feelings and your decisions and your choices. God and Goddess want for you what you want for you. So how can they be more sure than you of what you want? So they will allow you to have chaos in your life in regard to your personal interest, chaos in your life in regard to your finances, chaos in your life in regard to your speech and your communication with relatives, and accidents on the road and breakdowns of motor vehicles. They'll allow you to have chaos in the home environment with insecurity of everybody in the home and many changes of residence. They'll allow you to have chaos in your romantic attachments and your love life. And they'll allow you to have bodily ill health. Where are you stuffing all of these negative thoughts of yours? Into which organs are you stuffing these negative thoughts that are finding expression through cancers and tumours and kidney failure and lung congestion and heart trouble and all of these various aspects of our life? We can't get away with it any longer. The more intelligent that we become, the more we're learning about God's laws and Goddess's laws. And all we have to do is to realize that the power of the mind is the thing that's determining the impact in our life and in our body as events and conditions in our life. So if your life is in chaos in any of these areas, who have you got to blame? Not fate, not destiny, not someone else, not mum or dad who didn't bring you up the right way, not your ex who hates you now, not your children who are a burden upon you. No. Your thinking processes and your processes of feeling are finding expression as events and conditions in your life and as bodily ill health in your body. So it's nice to have this opportunity to be able to talk with you, and you can have your horoscope done by me free of charge. Go to my website and I'll be happy to work with you and help you to become more of the giant that you truly are. And I'll have plenty more videos coming out that will go into a lot more detail for you on other topics that will no doubt be of interest to you. Thank you.